Hey there, kids. Mr. Ta here, and today I want to talk to you about reading fluently and with understanding. So, what does it mean by reading fluently? Well, fluency is when you can read accurately, that means you know what the words are, with expression, and you understand what you read. So, today we are learning to check to see if we've selected books that we can read fluently and that we understand well. So sometimes we can't read intensely because the book isn't right for us. So remember, when we were talking about fluency, we've got a little checklist here that you can look at. I'll make it a little bigger for you. And we're looking at the accuracy. That means that you read the words correctly. The rate, that you read not too fast and not too slow. Expression, you read with feeling and you don't sound like a robot. And that you follow the punctuation. You follow most or all the punctuation marks. You stop where the periods are and you pause a little bit where the commas are. When you see exclamation points and question marks, your voice kind of makes it sound like that you can understand what those things are. So right now, take a couple seconds to tell your partner or tell your teacher how you know that a book is too hard for you to read. Go ahead, take a couple seconds to do so. If the teacher wants to pause, you pause now. Great. Here's some things that you might have said about books being too hard. I'll look at this top one. A book's too hard when it doesn't sound smooth, like a read aloud book, or that you have to rereading it to make it sound smoother doesn't help. It isn't understandable. The letters are too small and close together. Maybe the text is too small for you. And there are too many hard words. Remember the 5-finger rule? Maybe you're hitting 4 or 5 words per page. Try this one over here. Many words don't make sense to me. I'm reading super slow and losing focus. I get tired of reading quickly. I just want to trade this book right away. And this one, another sign says, yeah, if it's too hard, there are many words I don't know. I have to go back and reread what I just read, and I do not understand what I'm reading. Do you see a theme here? It's all about just not knowing what's going on. And remember, there are too many great books out there for you to waste time reading a book that you don't understand. So the reason why some kids hang on to books that are difficult to understand is because there's some sort of myth out there that to be a good reader, you have to read big books and hard books. So sometimes you'll have a student that will say, well, I want to read that book because that person's reading it and it's a nice big book, and I want to be able to read nice big books too. But it turns out the research says that reading books that are too hard for you actually does not improve your reading. It doesn't make you read any better. It just makes you more confused and more frustrated, and frankly, makes you hate reading. And then the research also says that reading a lot of books at your level and just a little tiny bit harder will improve your fluency and reading levels. I like to say that every book that you read in school should just be a teeny tiny bit harder than the last book you read. Enough that you're still comfortable, but maybe you're learning another word or two, or maybe you're pushing yourself a little bit more and you're reading more intensely as you go. So remember, we read and practice just like you do anything else. Remember, when people go and do something really well, like running or gaming or playing any kind of sport, they get into a flow. And when you get into a flow, it feels like you're going quickly. So tonight, try to get into the flow of reading. Remember, whatever you do when you're reading your independent reading, make sure that you are filling out your online reading journal, because we want to know how you think when you read. And that's one of the biggest signs that we know whether or not you truly understand the book. If you can express your thoughts about the book in your reading response journal. So remember, how do you know that a book is too difficult for you to read? Go ahead, tell me right here. Great. So if you know a book is too difficult for you to read, put it away. Maybe you don't have to put it away forever. Maybe it could be a goal. You can decide, I'll read this next month or by the end of the school year. If it's something that you really want to try, just right now, try reading a book that is on your level. Until next time, I'm Mr. Ta.